Hello and welcome everybody. This is Saf for Eccentric Schoolhouse, and this is our second tutorial on using Inkscape. In this tutorial, we'll be covering how to use different options in the path menu. So let's get started by opening up Inkscape. Here we go. Let's make it full screen. Zoom in on our page, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create two shapes. I'm going to make a rectangle and an ellipse. I'm going to change the color of the ellipse to orange. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the ellipse over the rectangle, select both tools, and go ahead and open up the path menu. The first thing I'm going to do is create a union, and as you can see, it created this kind of sort of I guess a keyhole shape. I'm going to click Ctrl Z to undo, or you could always just go to Edit, Undo, Redo, and do that. Select both of them again, give it a difference. As you can see, they created kind of a elliptical cutout in the rectangle. Now, what would happen if I had the rectangle over the circle? Okay, well, we'll put it there, select both of them, and give it a difference. Now I created a rectangle shape inside the ellipse. Control Z to undo that. Let's move it back down by selecting the lower selection to bottom button. Open up our path menu again, give it an intersection. And only the part of the circle and the ellipse that was intersecting is created. Control Z, path menu, exclusion. So it has both the shapes, but the part that was intersecting is now excluded. Undo, select both of them, path menu, division. So now if we unselect both of them, as you can see, they too break apart. Select both of them, cut path. So that just gets rid of both of them. And that's the basics. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these basics of path menu and create a arrow. I'm going to get rid of both shapes, and what I'm going to start out doing is creating a square. Now a perfect square. Now there are a number of ways to do this. You could create a rectangle and just in the width and height options give it a similar width and height. So if I wanted a perfect square, it will be 300 width and 300 height. Another way to do this is to just click the rectangle tool, and then click and hold Control on your keyboard and just drag it out, and it's going to be a perfect square automatically. Without the control, you can do whatever you want with it. So now that we have our first perfect square, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on it, and these arrows will come up which will allow us to rotate it, and by holding Control I can rotate it in place, and there we have a slanted square. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here in the menu, Edit, Duplicate, or Control D. Now you can't see it right now, but there's actually another square on top of the one we had before, and I'll change the color for this one. I'm going to click on it one more time so we can have these rotation arrows come up, and I'm going to hold Control and move them back down to its original position. I'm going to move them up here so it's aligned in the middle, and drag it out. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of them, path, difference, and here we have a triangle shape. Next thing we have to do is just make another rectangle, give it the same color, and voila, we just made an arrow. Next thing we can do is select both of them, path, union, and now instead of two different shapes, it's the same one. And you can click on it and rotate it. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to do, I guess, sort of a crescent moon using the ellipses and the same techniques. So what I just described with the rectangle to make a perfect rectangle is the same way to make a perfect circle. Hold Control and drag it out. So we can get rid of this one. We're going to click Control D to duplicate it. Drag it on top. Select both. Path, difference, crescent moon. And these are just some of the things that you would be able to make. Maybe for a little bit of bonus, let's make a egg. So let's make an ellipse. Actually, let's make a cracked egg, and let's give it a star. Now we'll play around with these options. I want a 5-corner star. I don't want it rounded. I want it sharp. And let's lower the spoke ratio to, let's say, 0.5. Let's change the color to off-white. Let's rotate it a little bit. Let's hold down Control and click on these arrows here so we can make it smaller. Then select both objects, path, difference, and there we have a basic cracked egg. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial and see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.